Before I get this video started, here is a fair warning. There will be spoilers for the last season of the Bad Batch in this video. And there will also probably be spoilers in the comments, so just be aware of that. And, well, with that out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and throw out the first spoiler for Bad Batch, and that is that it was a really, really good show. I would put it right behind Andor in terms of quality. It just had some phenomenal storytelling, and I thought that it was a very, very well done show. And as such, there is a lot of really fantastic set potential from Bad Batch Season 3. And so today I've got my top 5 picks for sets that I think could both be really good sellers and actually viable things that LEGO would do. Although I might get a lot of crap in the comments for what I put in the number 2 spot, so you'll have to let me know if you think my pick is controversial or if it makes sense. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. But anyways, starting out strong with number 5, I've got an Imperial Viewing. These ships were pretty dang ubiquitous in the Bad Batch, and I feel like it would make a ton of sense for LEGO to do. I could see it sliding in really well at the $35 price tag with 2 TK troopers and maybe a member of the Bad Batch or something to make it worth that $35. But there has never been a better time for LEGO to re-release a V-Wing, even an Imperial Viewing. I know that a lot of people probably want a Republic V-Wing, but hey, an Imperial Viewing is pretty dang cool too. And then at my number 4 pick, I went with a Row class shuttle for like $140 at that price tag or so. Now, this might be surprising for some of you guys, but the Row class shuttle was actually pretty different from the new class shuttle that you're probably more familiar with. The Row shuttle had a fin on the top as well as a space for like a cargo docking port to attach onto. And, you know, they look pretty dang cool in the all-gray Imperial color scheme. I think that this would be a killer set to have Wolf and a couple of clone commandos and TK troopers in, and maybe even like a Rex or a Hauser or a Fireball for good measure. I just see a ton of potential in one of these things if they include the whole cargo hatch at the bottom and keep it at like $140, because that would be fantastic. I would buy that so quickly. Something that I'd be even more excited to buy would be one of those Assassin Clones ships. The moment that this came on screen, I just kind of lost my mind. It is such a cool design, especially the back with those triangular red engines. I just think that it is so sleek looking, so intimidating. I think that it would be a crime if LEGO did not make one of these for like $50, because any smaller than that and it would just be awful. If they wanted to go bigger, that would be cooler too, but this is such a cool design, man. This would be the perfect set to include one of those CX series clone assassins in, and also an Omega minifigure, since she is taken to Tantus on one of these, and maybe like a Nalise or Emery or something, just for added value. But yeah, a CX clone Dagger Vessel would just be so over the top awesome. And for number 2, I think that getting a Zilla Beast set would be one of the coolest things that they could do from Bad Batch Season 3. And now hear me out on this, okay? I think that they could pretty easily do like a $70 or $80 brick-built Zilla Beast, and that it would sell pretty well. Generally, I do prefer molded LEGO Star Wars creatures over the creepy, weird-looking brick-built ones, but the Zilla Beast is large enough. If they did it at like $70 or $80, I think that it would be a large enough set that it would look perfectly fine as a brick-built thing. Plus, a Zilla Beast set would have a much wider appeal, I think. It would appeal to both fans of Bad Batch and Clone Wars, as well as fans of only Clone Wars. There are a lot of people I know that just skipped out on Bad Batch because it's Disney Star Wars, which is Understandable, but unfortunate, because Bad Batch was actually really good and it's definitely worth a watch. I imagine that it might be a little bit hard to have like structural stability for the set, but if you keep it down to like $70-$80 and you use a lot of bionicle pieces, I think that it could do just fine. There would definitely be some side builds in a set like this, like some of the turrets that they use to zap it, but I think that that's perfectly okay. And the minifigure potential in a set like this would be awesome. You could get a Dr. Hemlock as Scorch, a couple of the Bad Batch team members, maybe some more CX series clones or something. I think that a set like this would just have so much potential. So much potential. And man, I could talk about the Zilla Beast for hours, guys, but I probably gotta move on. It is one of my favorite arcs from the Clone Wars, though. And before going to number 1, here are a couple of honorable mentions that just didn't quite make the cut for top 5. Things like the Turbo Tank Gunship or Venator, I think would make pretty good Bad Batch sets, but I think that they would be far better suited as Republic era sets, so I just don't see them doing a Bad Batch themed Turbo Tank, Gunship, or Venator. Next time they do those, it's gotta be Republic. And then things like Fennec Shan's ship or Fee's ship, I think they're pretty cool. They could make for good sets, but I just don't think that they're as likely or would do as well as some of the things that we've talked about so far. But let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. And at number 1, I've got the Remora. I just think that this is such a unique, cool design. I've always been a huge fan of the more civilian-esque ships coming out of LEGO Star Wars. If you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know that. But yeah, these unique, more civilian-esque ships, I'm always such a fan of those. I love these kinds of ships, and especially this one. It's just such a cool, tough looking design, and that's not to mention the insane minifigure potential that you could get in a set like this. Comment down below what your ideal minifigure lineup would be for the Remora. But you know, even as cool as a minifigure lineup for the Remora might be, I think that the Leech Vessel would just be the coolest feature that you could have in a Bad Batch set. Like, that's a pretty dang cool thing. So if LEGO were to only do one set based off of Bad Batch Season 3, and they let me pick what it was gonna be, as much as I would love to have a CX Assassin Dagger, as awesome as getting a Zilla Beast would be, the Remora just has to be the most sensible choice. I think that most other people would probably pick this one too. And I'd hope that it would make its way in as a $170 set, because anything less and it's not doing the size of this thing justice. But those are my top 5 picks. Comment down below what else you would put on this list, what you would remove from this list. Just start some discussion, let me know. And also, thank you very much for watching this far into the video. I really, truly appreciate it. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you made it this far, since I'm guessing that means that you did like it, and check out some end screen stuff.